Hello, hello Raymond fans. It is Sunday afternoon, which means it's time to talk Everybody Loves Raymond to all of our fans. I am sorry that I missed everybody last week. Good to see everybody joining. Hello Gil, hello Karen. I'm going to go through questions today. A lot of questions from last week. A lot of questions about the Italy episode also. Good to see everybody. Let's scroll through. Hello, Paula. Yes, specific questions. So I'm going to try and get to as many questions as I can that came up during the week. And then if I missed your question, just write it again. So let me plug in my mic. All right. You should all be able to hear me very well now. A little bit better than before. Hello, everybody. Let me get some hellos out of the way. Hello, Jennifer. Hello, Teresa. Happy birthday, Teresa. You are 39 today. Congratulations. I hope someday I can go to Chicago and have a good meal. Hello, Norway. Is it Wonderlund? My Norwegian is not great. So this is Tom Caldabiano. I am a writer from Everybody Loves Raymond for all 9 years. I'm friends with Ray. I was friends with Ray before Everybody Loves Raymond. I am still friends with Ray. I saw Ray last week in New York City. And I did talk to Ray's wife about having Ray appear. So I would like to have, and let me know what you guys think of this, Ray's wife and Ray together. I think it would be interesting, and also she has an account. So pragmatically, that could happen. What I'd like to have also is Monica, Phil's wife, and maybe the wives of all the writers. That's why I think for Patty Heaton and her husband would be really great. Hello, Palm Beach Gardens. Hello, Barbara. Yes, Ray was filming in New York, but they have wrapped. But you are correct. Yes, Teresa, I will come to your family restaurant, Tofano's. I would love to. I'm hoping, Ray and I did a gig in Aurora, Illinois, which is just outside of Chicago. But I remember we flew to Chicago. But we were in and out so quickly that we didn't get a chance to eat anything. Hello, Vera. Cześć in Poland. Cześć. That's hello and goodbye in Polish. Saves time. All right, so let's answer a few questions. I think, I can't remember who, Karen maybe, asked about whether the table read. So I posted a picture of the Italy episode table read on stage 5 of Warner Brothers. Specifically for that episode, Phil, the cast, and here's a little Easter egg, as they call it for you if you're watching the episode. The hair person, the makeup person, and our head of props is walking down the Spanish Steps. When Ray and Deborah are walking up the steps, you see 2 blonde women and a guy kind of walking down past Ray and Deborah. That is Sheila Woodhouse Collins and Ralph Avalos and Rhonda Robinson, our props person, who we really want to get on here. They were all in Italy, and they needed them as extras. They needed them as background on the Spanish Steps. So for that show, and when Phil comes on, we'll talk to him more about it. But Phil wanted to do that show much earlier than season 5. But the show wasn't a hit, and it did cost extra money. So, Paula, I think you had a question about how much it costs. I'll find out from the line producer, Lisa Helfrich Jackson, who agreed to come on. And again, I I go back. A lot of the people that work on the show don't enjoy being on camera. So as much as you enjoyed talking to George or listening to George and I speaking, or Andy Kindler, who obviously likes to be on camera, or Fred Stoller, a lot of the people behind the scenes are behind the scenes because they don't want to be in front of the camera. So I have to convince them to come on and talk. And everybody, their default is that what I did is not so interesting. But, of course, you guys know otherwise, that a lot of the behind the scenes stuff is very, very interesting. Okay. Scrolling through. Yes, you're welcome, Paula. So, Phil wanted to do the Italy episode. I want to say the third year, but it wasn't a hit show. It cost a little bit more money to get everybody go. Now, I noticed there's an American Airlines exterior shot of their airplane that tells me, without asking, that American Airlines contributed or paid for all of the airfare in exchange for a giant commercial by forever being included in the beginning and end of an episode of Everybody Loves Raymond. So that cost was covered, and then they have to put the people up. The cameramen are all people from there. There was from Italy. So our props department, hair and makeup department went over there. And not much more. The line producer, I believe, went over there, but not much more because they hired an Italian crew, and I'm sure there's some rules about who you use and saving money, etc. So Phil, they shot that, then they came back. Then the editor, and this happens on Friends and Seinfeld, on all the shows, if they've pre-filmed something, then you see the cast performing it live, and then they roll back the pre-tape thing on the monitors. So I know a lot of you have seen a live taping of a sitcom. You're sitting in bleachers, and there's monitors all over the bleachers, up high. So you can look down at the stage, and you can look up at the monitor. And so, because sometimes, let's say, Ray and Deborah's bedroom, for some shows, might be around the corner. You can't see it, so you just have to watch it like you're watching a TV at home. So what they do is they take the scenes that have been pre-taped and they roll them back. They play them back. So you would hear on the live stage, cut, and so they would go, let's say, I pointed out for you, for those of you that are able to see the entry, Ray and Deborah come into the bedroom. Okay, so that bedroom was on stage 5. The bedroom in Italy was on stage 5 to the right of the bleachers where Ray and Deborah's living room would often be. And if you guys look on YouTube, if you look at the season 5 bloopers, you'll see a couple jokes that Ray makes. I won't give away the jokes. And you see that bedroom. You see the shot because Ray has to walk past camera because I was sitting next to a camera and he walked right past me. So when that happens on stage 5 and they cut, they instantly roll back onto the monitors the scene of them walking out. And you see that breathtaking Italy scene that's really in Italy. Then they cut back to whatever they're filming next on the live thing. So it went back and forth that way. Now, it's both... everything is shot on film. Everything on Everett Raymond was shot on film. Now, for those of you that are friends of or fans of Monty Python, I think, and maybe some of my British friends know the answer, I think there was a law that you had to shoot film outside and videotape inside. So if you watch Monty Python, old Monty Python sketches, when they're outside, it looks completely different when they're inside. Because videotape looks much different than film. And nowadays, everything is digital, so almost everything is digital, so you wouldn't see that difference. And on Everett Raymond, everything was film. And we were one of the last all-film shows. I Love Lucy was one of the first, and we were one of the last. And so that's why you don't see, it's very seamless. So I hope that helps clear up because I think there was a little bit of confusion. What is on stage? Okay, Leo, yes, great question. Let me go back. What is on the stage when they are rolling back on the TV screen? Is the curtain drawn down? Yeah, so there is no curtain. The stage, it goes dark. if you, and I'll put up some of these pictures, if they wanted to hide something from the audience, they would roll a black, I think it's duvetine is a black material that's used in show business a lot. It's just black, used to black out. And so it would say Everybody Loves Raymond on it. So when they would roll back, generally, it just goes dark as it can go with people in the audience. So you would watch, and this I noticed also. We are all used to watching TV, and it's literally like a moth to a flame. I would watch people in the audience, and their tendency is, even if the scene is happening live at the living room, right in front of them, the tendency is to lean back and watch the TV because it is such a natural thing for us to do. So, yeah, there was no curtain that they would draw across the thing. Great question, though, Leo. How many copies of the Family Album were printed and sold? Yes, Wendell Poons. The book you're talking about. So we printed 50,000 books, and the second printing didn't. There was no second printing, and I will talk more about that. But I don't know how many were sold, but it was definitely 50,000. All right, let me scroll back up to the questions. Great questions as usual. So there was a question. Let me answer this while I'm scrolling. Did we film the table read? So there's a handful that have been filmed somewhere, and you guys will be the beneficiary. I have hundreds of videotapes of behind the scenes that I have to just digitize, cut to the length that you can see them on Instagram, etc. Including somebody asked about the music, and the music was other than the original music. Other than the source music of previously recorded music, Rick Marotta is the composer for the show. He had a recording session. I went to that recording session. I have videotape of that recording session of all that beautiful music because that was a big part of the vibe of that Italy show, which is so great. And for those of you that are fans of Phil's show, Somebody Feed Phil, that show, that transformation of Raymond, who in real life did go to the Jersey Shore, and I think Phil asked him, where are you going? Are you going anywhere? And he said, no, we're going to the Jersey Shore. And Phil said, why not Italy or something like that? And Ray did say something like, I'm not really that interested in other cultures. So that transformation of Ray as a person really happened to Ray Romano in real life, and I think that's kind of what Phil's goal is. If you watch Somebody Feed Phil on Netflix, you see him. Okay, scrolling down. Great questions. Yes, you would love Anna, Ray's wife, to join. She is shy, and she doesn't like to be on camera, but... all right, catch him. Yes, you hate Parker. Yeah, it would be great. It would be great. To have Patty and her husband, who is an actor who is great on camera. So, yeah, I think there's probably, as far as the chance of an ELR reboot, the type of Friends reunion, that's the most likely. Let's see. Scrolling down. Leo, you can't stand on the Spanish Steps anymore. It's against Italian law. Interesting. Maybe... it's getting worn out, or maybe they saw Everybody Loves Raymond's Italy episode and they didn't like it. Let's see. Yes, great. So I didn't finish the filming of the table reads. So season 1, every single table read was sent via satellite live to David Letterman's office. And his people would watch the table read and then call after the table read with notes. And I asked somebody who worked there for Letterman's company. Letterman's company is called Worldwide Pants. That's why at the end of the episode you see Worldwide Pants come up. And I asked that one of the producers, I said, do you think those tapes, my hope would be those tapes are sitting in a closet somewhere. But he didn't think so. He thought it'd be a long shot, and Worldwide Pants doesn't really exist anymore. So Worldwide Pants, Letterman's company, as far as I know, it was really just like 3 or 4 people. And so I do have video of the season 1 finale that Ray and I wrote called Why Are We Here, where they draw the circles on the map and they're saying, oh, that's too far for too close for sauce and too far for overnight stay, something like that. Okay, Jana, yes, questions. It's always been, you've always been curious on why Monica Horan's Amy went from being a city girl, dark lipstick, black accent, and workaholic type to Amy that married Robert. Was the idea that season 1, 2 wouldn't mesh? That is a great question. I'm going to have to think about that change. Are you talking about, was there one specific episode where she went from one to another? Because I remember when he met her, right? Was he eating, is it chocolate chip cookie mix right out of a thing? I don't remember. But that's a good question. So the transformation, workaholic type to Amy that married, yeah. I think she was single, and obviously she was single and a very hard worker and didn't have time to date, maybe. That could have been it. Because I don't know that her personality changed much in the show, which is possible. Yes, the ride along. Okay. Hello, Australia. Hello, KB1701. Great. Yes, Wendell Poons, 50,000 Prince. Yes, I hope you enjoyed the book. Yes, beautiful music. Yes, the kids went to Italy also. Yes, because they're in those outdoor scenes. I did not go to Italy. Unfortunately, Ray, Phil could only bring a few people. Had I gone to Italy, there would be a lot of photos of Italy. It's an unfortunate thing, but I was sitting in the writer's room with all the writers writing as they were enjoying themselves. And here's a little trivia. When Phil came back, he gave everybody a wallet, all of the writers a wallet. It wasn't filled with thousands of dollars, but it was a Bottega Veneta, very expensive, beautiful, woven wallet. So when you would see Raymond writers out together, they would all take out their wallet, and it all seemed like an odd cult because we all had the exact same wallet. Or maybe somebody thought that somebody had a relative who worked in the business. Right, here we go. Yes, Robert was eating cookie dough. She worked with Deborah at her marking, so assumption is city girl. Interesting. I do notice when I write comments, there's a lot of assumptions made. Some of them are correct, some of them are wrong, which is understandable. How far ahead was the Italy shoot before the studio shoot? A few weeks. It was only a few weeks. And usually, because you didn't, the crew has to report for work. So the writers come to work June 1st. And I don't know when the rest of the crew does. But the actors, so if we, the writers, come to work June 1st, the actors don't really come to work until the first table read, which might be the end of July. And so they wouldn't have the actors end their summer vacation, the hiatus we call it. They wouldn't have them end it, 3 weeks earlier, then shoot for a week, then come back. So it was just a few weeks. Yes, Paula, great question. Yes, Karen, do I still have the wallet? I do. Did the audience members get any kind of souvenir or brochure giving the info about the episode? Yes. So, Paula, they got I'll see if I'm sure I have one somewhere in the basement of everything. You got a little 2-page fold out, which had the title of the episode. I think it had a picture of the cast on it. It would say, I don't know that it would summarize. It would talk, I think, about the actors. I don't think it would summarize the episode that they were about to see, because it would say the name of the episode. And Ray, as a joke, used to have the script in his hand and come out, and he would go, yeah, I can't really say the name of this episode because I don't want to give it away. You know what? The heck with it. Okay, the name of this episode is Robert Dies. And then the audience would be shocked, of course, and Ray would be like, I'm kidding. So there wouldn't be a plot by plot, like here's what you're going to see. They might say the name of the episode, because in our episodes, we didn't really give away a lot. And even now, years after the show, when I read the titles, I don't know. There's a lot where I go, okay, thank you notes, thank you. I don't know what any of those were at all. So we didn't give away anything. Leo, yes, go to the log. Yes, Leo, if you go to Rome and to Lago Bracciano, where they filmed it, please take pictures. I'd be curious. Hello, Allie Marie Miller. How are you? Was the luggage episode derived from a real event? Yes. If you go back, so yes, it happened to Tucker Cawley in real life. Tucker Cawley is one of the writers. And if you go back to the lives, you'll see I interviewed Tucker, and he told the whole story in detail from beginning to end. But really, just to summarize, he and his wife and all of the Raymond writers, we went to a fancy dinner in San Francisco in the daytime, and in the nighttime we went to an outdoor concert at a baseball stadium to see the Rolling Stones, all courtesy of HBO, which was one of the producers of the show. When he came back, his wife decided she needed a suitcase, even though it was a day trip. He came back, and he noticed that the suitcase was actually at the foot of his bed, and it was never moved. And so he came in after weeks of it just not moving, and Phil said, "Hey, is anybody having a fight with their wife?" And Tucker said, "I think I am." And then he told the story and the continuation of the fight. And then and I wanted to share this also, as is usual, a lot of stuff is really based on real life, but you have to make it funnier. And so you change some facts or heighten some facts or make some facts fit the Barone family. But I would recommend, and for any of the lives, you guys can go back at any time. The cheese was made up, but the suitcase was 100% real. And it got to the point where she was taking stuff out of the suitcase. And the argument that happened in the writer's room was he was telling the story of this passive-aggressive fight. And I said, "This sounds crazy, Tucker. Just move the suitcase." And all of the married men said, "Do not touch that suitcase," because apparently your passive-aggressive fights last forever. So Ray's lucky car. Yeah. That was a Lou Schneider script, but I think I had the flashback. All I knew is Ray was going to make out with a strange girl. And legally, as they say, as Ray says, it's a loophole, because when you're an actor, you get to kiss other people for your paycheck. And so I remember Ray's wife was out from New York visiting, and I think we worked on that on a Saturday. And I remember seeing Ray and his wife and saying, "Oh, Ray, you're going to be very happy, and Anna, you're not going to be very happy at all." But the car was, I recommended the car because that was a 70 Plymouth Valiant, which I had. Yes. So I'm reading these great questions. Yeah, Bad Moon Rising was Phil and Monica. Yeah, and Ray. I think Ray wrote the beginning, and they split it up, just like She's the One, I think, was Ray and Phil. Even though Mike Royce and I helped on those scripts, but they would split up. Someone would write the beginning, and someone would write the end. The script itself, the breaking of the story, which I went into detail another time, where you figure out what is going to happen in each scene, that is done collectively at a certain point. So when you're writing a script with two people, it's not like, "Hey, I'm going to go off and write the beginning," and the other person's like, "Well, let me think what could happen at the end." That's not what happens. What happens is you know what's going to happen every single scene, and then you go off and write the dialogue. And so there's no surprises when they do them together. Yes. By the way, I saw The Big Fork and Spoon. I have an idea for a little gift type of item for the Big Fork and Spoon. And as soon as I get the prototype, I'm going to show it to you guys and see if you would be interested or have any thoughts. Does anyone own the canister? Such a funny episode. Yes, I think we had 3 canisters, and I think the canister, I'm pretty sure that Donna Stamps, who's our set decorator, I want to say, has one, and maybe the guy who wrote it, who was an outside writer, I don't know if he took one. He might have. I can't remember his name. And I just ran into him the other day at lunch. Let's see. Yes, scrolling through. Yes, Bobby, the cool scenes in Italy shows driving small. Yes, that's a Fiat Cinquecento that they're driving, a very small and popular car, rather. And it's teeny tiny. If you guys are into cars, there's a newer version of that, I guess, maybe 15 years ago, that Fiat released, the Cinquecento, which is a little bit bigger than that original one, but it was a common car. And I have to say, when you go to Italy, a big car is not an asset because you have to go through all these little streets. So the American streets, the first time I went to Italy, I was struck by how small some of those streets are. Of course, some of them are 1,000 years old, so big Cadillacs weren't around quite yet. All right, scrolling down. Yes, so that table read footage. When I find it, I will post that. It's the Why Are We Here? And Peter Boyle makes a mistake at the table read. It's a very funny mistake, and I'm hoping it's still in my recording. I'll post it. I won't give it away, but it's a very funny mistake that could not air on television. He says the wrong thing, and as funny, it got the biggest laugh of the table read. Peter Boyle's mistake. Okay, was the pizza place real where Ray ate? Barbara. Hello, Barbara. So the pizza place is named after Ray's dog in real life, Nemo. Ray had a dog named Nemo, and when I played softball with Ray in New York City, under the 59th Street Bridge and in Queens, the name of the softball team was Nemo's. The actual pizza place is in Staten Island. So just like the exterior of Ray and Deborah's house, where Ray Romano has never been, and Patty Heaton has never been, and I don't think anybody in the show has ever been to those exteriors, which are out on Long Island, the pizza place, and the only way I found out is there was a guy who I met with for a business meeting, and he said he grew up around the corner from the exterior of that pizza place in Staten Island, which he said has been remodeled since. So the outside of the pizza place doesn't even look, and I'll find out the name of that. So Ray's Pizza Place in real life, I don't remember the name of it where he would go, but they gave the name of his dog to the pizza place. So, and if you know, Stefania's father took over the pizza place because Nemo. The truth is, I think Nemo, the actor, was not doing well. The Hello, Beautiful Bee Marie. Brad breaking the doorknob was written in, or was the acting that well? And he broke my eggs. When did Brad break the doorknob? Which episode? Barbara, you're out in Long Island and you see the exteriors. Take a picture, send it to me. Look at Jose and Jose B. Yes, great. The Italy pizza scene. Yes. Did Peter Boyle really choke on the cake when he says, "Set me up again"? No, that was acting. Yes. The kids' room. Okay. No, it was a separate room. So, Allie, you're talking about, so I'm going to read the questions because when this gets replayed, the questions go away. From Beautiful B. Marie, was the kids' room all the same room or a different room? It was decorated very well, but looked like the same room. No, it was absolutely a different room. I don't know. You guys would know better if there was an episode where both rooms existed at the same time, Allie's room and the twins' room. I'll post some pictures of the rooms because the kids' room was much smaller. The twins' room was much smaller than Allie's room. Yes, Brad barely fit in the car. Absolutely. Yes, Madeline back on. Madeline would be great. Would be really great to see. And I think I would like to get Gianni and John Manfrotati. John Manfrotati is not on Instagram, but he is a hysterical person. I would like to get Andy Kindler back. So I think in the next 2 weeks, maybe June 27th, I'll have Aaron Kruger, who is a makeup person. Sherry Shepard, I'll have to reach out to Sherry Shepard. And for favorite, let's see, let me go back to some of these questions. These are all great questions. I love it. So, Barbara, where are you that you're going to? Is it on Long Island? Let's see. Yeah. How does the production eliminate all tourists during filming the famous scenes in Italy, like the Trevi Fountain? They lock up the set for a very short time. So they don't get rid of all the tourists because you'll probably see tourists way in the background. But just like any movie, you'll see, and of course there's a limitation to what you can do and your budget. I just was in New York, for example, and Martin Scorsese, or as his friends call him, Marty, he has not unlimited, but pretty much unlimited budget. So he can do these big things. For Ever's Raymond, you just shut down. So you have a PA or somebody else, an assistant producer with a walkie-talkie, and they hold the people, and they'll say rolling, and you'll hear rolling, and the people stop, and then they cut, and then they go. And you do have, in real life, a lot of really annoyed people. So people are always watching stuff, but people don't care. Some people don't care about movies. They just want to get where they have to go. And so you'll see very often in New York scenes in movies, old movies especially, you'll see some people looking at the camera, etc. And it depends, if you have the budget, if you're doing Batman, there's no accidents. There's 600 extras who are walking around. They don't want to risk, when you're doing a film production, you're always, the phrase, we're running out of light. So they're always worried about making their scenes and making the shots, the pages for the day that they're going to shoot. Because when Ray, for those of you that haven't seen it, I recommend seeing a movie that Ray did called The Big Sick. And that producer told us, I was there for the whole time of the filming, and the producer said the financiers, the people that write the check for a movie, they have the ability to cut scenes in the movie. So it's a very heartbreaking thing if a director goes, I need this scene, and there's somebody who gave the money who says, if you do that scene, you're going to go over on your days, and it's going to cost us an extra $280,000. So here's the script, cut some scenes. And that's what they're up against. So when you see a filming or a production, there's a very, very, very intense feeling of like, we have to get this done because you're always trying to make your day. And so you don't think about it. When you go into a movie theater and you watch a movie and you sit there and go, oh, I wish they had this, you don't know the ripple effect of maybe they did have it, but they had to cut it because of the budget, because they went over budget. Robert kissing Ray on the episode where Robert goes back to work after the bull. Was that unplanned? It looks absolutely unplanned, and I love it. That was planned. Yeah, almost everything. There's very, very little spontaneous stuff, and I know it feels bad to. So it's not saying that Brad isn't brilliant and Ray isn't brilliant and couldn't ad-lib stuff, but I will post the picture this week of the switcher. The switcher is the person who decides what the audience sees in the feed. So by the time you get to show night, we've rehearsed it so many times that it's very precise. And so, yes, could Robert or Brad ad-lib a little thing? Yes, but not if it's dependent, not if it throws off the cameraman and the switcher, especially with lines, because you're going to, if Brad all of a sudden decided, I'm going to make up some funny lines, the other actor has to go, okay, when is he done ad-libbing? The cameramen are looking at a sheet, and on the cameraman sheet it says, Robert says, that a boy, Cubby, and then I roll the camera to the left. So now if Robert says some long thing, then all of a sudden the cameraman goes, he didn't say that away, Cubby. Okay, when do I roll? Then the person, the switcher up in the thing goes, uh-oh, he didn't say that a boy, Cubby. That's our line to move to the next camera. So it would be a domino effect of everything falling apart if people started ad-libbing. Goodbye, Paula. Sorry you have to leave. Great questions from Canada. Jealous Robert. Ah, yes, Jealous Robert. So I wrote Jealous Robert with Ray. That was planned. Yes. See, all the episodes blend together. So Ray and I wrote Jealous Robert. Was that season? And it was 2001. I remember clearly. Yes. So that was planned. Now, let me see. In the Bad Moon Rising, this is from Bobby P966. Bobby, I'd like to know how you got the P966. In the Bad Moon Rising blooper reel, Patty Heaton says, you know, Tom, when you whisper in the microphone, everyone can hear you. I assume she was talking to you. Do you remember the situation? Yes. So, great. So, Bobby, where did you see that? Was that on YouTube? For Bad Moon Rising was what episode, what season was that? Yes, let me know. Write that. So here's what that was. For those of you, I really recommend you watch the blooper reels on YouTube, or I think they must have included it in some of the DVD box sets. So here's the situation. Mark Sweet, who was on the show on talking to me, interviewing here on Instagram Live, 360. He was the audience warm-up. So he would have to warm up the audience for 2, 3, 4, very seldom 5 hours. But let's say 4 hours, he would have to talk to 200 people live, and he would be doing all kinds of things to keep their attention. So Ray would say, Tom, go up into the audience and, give Mark Sweet a break so he can go to the bathroom and just answer questions. So I would go up into the audience and talk to the audience and answer questions about what's going on the floor. Because Mark, yes, he knew in general, but he didn't know the specifics of everything. So I would go up and I would make jokes. So what Bobby is talking about is I would pretend to try to be so no one could hear me, but I would whisper into the microphone and say hopefully funny things. So if I remember correctly, I said something, I think Madeline Sweeten or somebody didn't get their lines right. And so I whispered into the microphone something like, we don't feed them until they get their lines right. But I whispered it. And Patty, who I think was by the kitchen sink, just turned and goes, Tom, when you whisper into the microphone, we can still hear you. And so obviously I was deliberately whispering to be funny. So that's it. Yeah, I'd be curious, Bobby. Let me know where that is, because I haven't seen that in years. Season 4, Bad Moon Rising, Season 4. Okay, great. Yeah, Patty, I remember. Let's see. Hello, King Me. How are you, King Me? Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining. And those just joining who've never been here before, this is Tom Caltabiano, as a writer on There Was Raymond. For all 9 years, I met Ray doing stand-up in New York. I'm still friends with Ray. I'm still friends with Phil and everybody from the show. You once mentioned that Ray's real wife got jealous when he and Deborah played the sex game and looked in her eyes. Did Ray's real wife also get jealous when Ray saw Deborah, quote-unquote, naked in the futon episode? No, it was the exchange, and we'll ask her. Great question. We'll ask her when she's on. The intimacy of staring into somebody's eyes for a long period was much more than the naked futon moment, because obviously you're, or maybe not obviously, you're not naked, just like I posted that picture that I took of Ray getting the bath, and he's wearing a bathing suit. From my angle, you could see he was wearing a bathing suit, but on the show, it looks like he was naked. Season 4. Did the original twin baby boys not work out? Yeah, the original twin baby boys was they were going to be too old for the daughter, and so once they found that she had real twin brothers, it worked out perfectly. So I'd like to say they were let go because they weren't good actors, but I think they were 3 or 2 or something. So great question. Great question. Season 4. Thank you. Awesome. In the final scene of the finale, was the empty chair set out to represent the audience who sat through their journey? That's real Kenny Poo. That's a very deep question. It felt like it and was very moving. The empty chair. Yeah, I wonder if so real Kenny Poo. Let's see what Phil answers when we ask him that question. Do you remember what song the family sang at the end of the ELR? Yes, I do. I mean, oh, wait. I mean, she wasn't really naked, so not much to get jealous over. Yeah, but even if she was naked, it's the intimacy. This is a whole nother hour we can do about what makes women jealous. Are you aware how big, from Crafty Carly? Hello, Crafty Carly in the UK, in London. Are you aware how big ELR is over here in the UK? Carly from London. We have some fans. We have Gil and Karen. We have a lot of people. But I don't know how big it is, to be honest. I mean, there's fans everywhere, but I don't know how big the London, like, do you think if Ray walked down the street in London, people would notice him? I don't know. I know in Australia it's been very big for a long time. And also, Carly, they tried to make a British adaptation. They've taken the show. They made an adaptation in Russia, which has run for like 400 episodes. Everett Raymond ran for 210 original episodes, so they did almost double the episodes in Russia. But they did it in London, in England, and it didn't. I can't remember why. It just didn't take off. So, and it might be because apparently people in the UK understand English pretty well, so they didn't need to dub anything, and so the original worked as opposed to Russia. Let's see. Were Windlepoons? Was I keen? Were you keen? Was I keen? I have to read this because these questions go away. Were you keen to be in front of the camera for your moments on screen, or do you prefer to be behind the camera taking photos? Yeah, I was happy to be on camera, but I wasn't clamoring. You know, I was in 3 episodes, I think. I had a line in Captain Nemo, I had a line in Recovering Pessimist, all because Phil was being nice, and I was so underpaid that he said, let's try and get you more money by being on the show. And then the photo one in the wedding, I had to take pictures. So I had to focus on taking the pictures that they used at the end of the episode. Yes, thank you. Manchester, England, the show is very loved there. Hello, Max. Is it Max Rayart? Hello, Max. Great. And it's shown in the morning, from what I understand, in England. Hello from Austin. Just watching Cruising with Marie this morning. So good. And was that the only episode that did not have Patty? Yeah. So I'm going to post some of these pictures. Patty gave birth to, I don't know what it was, her 12th kid or something at that point in the middle of the season, towards the end of the season. So in January. So Phil needed an episode where they didn't have Patty. Because Patty, she was pregnant this first season. So Ray and I wrote the season 1 finale, Why Are You Here? Why Are We Here? And Patty, in the episode, is pregnant for real and in the episode. In season 3, when she got pregnant again, we couldn't have her pregnant again or a flashback. So they had to write her out. And so if you look closely, when I post these pictures, and hopefully Patty will enjoy them as much as you, she is very pregnant. And so when you see the ping pong episode, you're starting to get close. So yes, as far as I know, that's the only episode without Patty. You guys might also know. Okay. Hello. Yes. Austin. Great. Tell us about Last Man Standing. Interesting question. Great. Okay. Did the actors have any say in the script or in the table read, or was it etched in stone? Bobby asks. Yes, good question. Yeah, I mean, they could say anything. They could, after the table read, it changed a little. Jokes that didn't get laughs went out, etc. So, absolutely 100%. Any of the actors could at any time after the table read or any time during the week go, I don't like this line. It feels, I'm stumbling over it, or it doesn't really feel, there's a discussion about lines. So Phil was very open to hearing everything that someone said. So it was never, Phil didn't say, no, I don't want to hear it. So let's see, scrolling down. It was a very communal setting. So, and it was very back and forth. And also Ray is on stage and a writer. So he would come back to the writer's room at the end of every day. So when the other actors went home, Ray would have to go to work in the writer's room. And so he would come in and say it, Do I still write for sitcoms? Yes. I've just finished writing an animated series for Lego. And I'm doing my own project now, a children's educational thing. Ray, Deborah, Brad, all of them would be recognized. Absolutely. Okay, great, Crafty Carly. I don't know anyone who doesn't love ELR. It's on Channel 4 every morning. Great. I think the show I'd heard, so just as far as airing, etc., everything has to do with sales and money. So if it's worthwhile and people seem to be watching in England, hopefully it'll be on for a long time. I've realized that Channel 4 episodes are edited a lot. Yeah, well, we have a few. I mean, let's face it, Everyone's Raymond is a very family-friendly show. There's a few with slightly, racier subject, but nothing compared to Friends or Seinfeld, etc. So there's the vagina sculpture episode, which I'm sure is not airing in the morning. Let's see. We should hire interns. Who should hire interns? Beautiful B. Marie. TV shows, because TV shows do have production assistants. They do have interns. As a matter of fact, one of the guys that worked on Raymond, who was an intern, basically, he created the TV show Suits. So Aaron Korsh is his name. He, I believe, started as an unpaid intern. He created the show Suits, and I believe someone who married into the royal family may have been on that show. I think there was a big wedding with them. So let me scroll through these. Great questions, everybody. These are awesome questions. Yes. Hello, Noah. What was the first project you ever worked on? You mean in TV? I did stand-up forever and did stand-up shows, Louis Anderson's stand-up show and an HBO show, etc. Let me see. If you're talking about TV, yeah. Ray, all of them would be recognized. Yeah. Well, you know what's funny? In walking with Ray and Brad, and because I've walked with all of them independently in New York and in Vegas, Doris Roberts would get recognized more than anybody because she dressed the way she dressed on the show, and she's unmistakable. Brad, because he's 6'8", would get recognized. Ray was very easy to miss, and Patty Heaton is really easy to miss because she's small, but when she was casual, you wouldn't recognize her at all. And maybe when she comes on, I'll have her tell the story, but in more detail. But she was on jury duty, she told me. So for those of you who are in maybe Norway. We have to do mandatory jury duty for trials. It's our civic duty. So you get a little notification in the mail. It says, you have to report for jury duty July 9th. And if you don't, it's I don't know that it's a crime, but you can't just not report for jury duty. And Patty Heaton told me that she was in the jury box, and you can object. You can say, if somebody's suing an ice cream company, you can say, I own an ice cream company, so I shouldn't be a juror because I can't be impartial. So I think Patty said something about she's in the public eye, and they said, what do you do? I'm an actress. Oh, okay. What type of, I do sitcoms. Okay. What's the sitcom? Everett's Raymond. Okay. And what do you play? I play the wife. Whose wife? Ray's wife. I'm Deborah Ray's wife. And she was unrecognizable because she had a hoodie and she wasn't wearing makeup, etc. So, just a little tangent there because, like I said, Brad and Doris Roberts could not walk down the street without being recognized. When Ray Romano did a small scene in the sitcom Nanny, was he Ray Barone? Yeah, he was Ray Barone. And I actually came up with a line for his appearance. Funny but fertile is what funny and fertile is what Fran Drescher said. We got to ad-lib some stuff. Do I know anybody that worked on The Middle? I only know Patricia Heaton, who worked on The Middle. Yeah, fantastic on that show as well. Yeah, Patricia Heaton is an amazing actress. She carries with her the ability to be funny, dramatic, and she's very pretty, which helps. Hi, Tom. It's Zoe. Hi, Zoe. I do know about 12 Zoes, so I don't know which Zoe, because your name is not giving it away. Brad would be perfect for a 7-Up commercial. Yes. Did anybody see Brad's Subway, Mike's, is it Mike's Subways, where Brad plays the Subway King? It was a Super Bowl commercial. Brad was, Brad is great also. Yes. Oh, okay. I have to wrap it up. Let's see. Sherry Shepard. Yeah. I just have to reach out to Sherry and have her come on. I loved Sherry, and I saw her at The View. I forget. Ray and I did The View together, but I don't think she was on The View yet. But I saw her, I think Ray was on The View again, and I saw her backstage, so I'll have to. Hello from England, Jane Claudia Ellis. Hello from England. We can watch on Comedy Central now and see the missing episodes Channel 4 cut out. I've realized the Channel 4 episodes are already out. Oh, okay, yes. I'm just scrolling back to see if I missed any questions. So next week I'll have a guest. We're going to be talking to, in the next 3 weeks, we're going to talk to a writer from Friends to hear about that experience. He was there from season 1 through 6. We're going to talk to Aaron Kruger, who is a makeup artist who was on Everett's Raymond. I cannot answer any makeup questions, even though I took a lot of pictures of Patty and Ray and Deborah, Patty, Ray, and Brad, etc. in the makeup chair, Doris Roberts, etc. So, yeah. So just so you know, if you want to get started in show, I'm just scrolling through some of these questions about PA. A production assistant is the lowest rung on the totem pole, but it's the way to get in. And if anybody knows anybody that wants to get their start, even if they're like, I want to be a director, try and get onto a show as a production assistant, and you do these menial tasks, but you get to meet people, and people end up going to higher places, and hopefully take them with you. Why didn't they have any New York City episodes, Allie Marie Miller? Well, they lived in New York, not in Manhattan, but I don't think, I think Phil wanted to go to Italy, so Where was Ray filming? Was he in Queens? I think he was in. So he filmed all over the place. You're talking about Barbara. Ray wrote and directed a movie, and he was based in New York at a place in Brooklyn, but they were all over the place. Queens, Philadelphia, many, many different places. Yes, I ran into Ray last week when he rapped. All right, scrolling down. Amy Aquino. Yes, Bobby. Amy Aquino. Sorry, so some of you might be... yes, the Windlepoons, the idea of the hot tub in Robert's old room, is that based on real life? Yes. When Ray and I shared an apartment, we had a hot tub, and it was a community hot tub. And so we would look out and see a lot of shenanigans, let's say. And so Ray's real life wife was like, don't want any girls coming to the apartment, etc. So it kind of became a... jumping off point for Ray enjoying Robert's single life. I watched an old live last week with Monica and Lily, and they were so very funny. Yes, Karen, yes, Monica and Lily, who will come on again. I think that's a good idea. I think I'm going to have Monica and Anna Romano on together without the guys, so they're free to talk without feeling pressure. Jealous Robert. Yes, Jealous Robert. Going back. All right. I will see you guys next week. Let me see if there's any last minute questions. I have to remember to post. What did I promise to post? I'll have to look at, see where it is. Did Ray ever write an entire episode himself? I don't think so. So I wrote a lot with Ray. Ray just didn't have time. Ray was so busy that he, for him to write an episode himself would have been tough. Not that he couldn't. Ray is very funny and a very good writer. It's just to keep the process moving forward. Ray, unlike the writers who just had to write, Ray also had to act and be in editing and all this stuff. So I guess if he didn't sleep, he could have written one. But a lot of times when he was writing one, we would just help him just to keep it going. Okay, final questions. Ricky's room, yes. Yes, Anna, for those that missed it. Sorry, I'm scrolling backwards. Yes, Ray's wife, Anna. Hello, Pam. Next time I'm in town, I will come and see you. All right, great seeing everybody. I will see you guys next week. I'll be posting a lot of pictures. Thank you for the comments. And again, if I don't answer your comments in the right in the comments, I try and enter them during the week. So, all right. Thank you. Talk to you guys next week.